Of course, we just heard Premier Campbell Newman announce his plans for Brisbane's rejuvenation. Some facts and figures that came up: 4 to 5 storey buildings, 18,000 jobs, first stage William Street, and saving $60 million a year in rentals. Des, what do you make of the plans?
I think it's a very impressive plan to change the face of Brisbane over many, many years. It's probably the most important thing that's happened in Brisbane architecturally in its history. And I'm very glad to see that along the way the Works Minister Dr Bruce Flegg and the Premier Campbell Newman are going to preserve and enhance the heritage values of the area that have been very neglected in the government precinct in George Street and William Street. It's got everything going for it, and I also like the injection of private capital to build the first buildings to house public servants who are now in rundown buildings that should be demolished.
Michelle, you've spoken with a number of developers. Are they licking their lips at the prospect?
Well, there hasn't been much development in the CBD really in the last couple of years, and it's a really safe thing for them. They're going to build buildings where you're going to get long leases to government tenants. It's a very fast process for them too. They don't have to buy a site, get an approval up, go out into the market and find tenants. They know they're going to have that tenant, and that's the first thing they want to get in place before they start working in the city.
So you think it's a positive development?
I think in terms of developers, it will get them back in the market. They won't have the finance issues that a lot of them face at the moment because they know they've got those tenants. We'll see some rejuvenation. We'll see some new buildings. There's some pretty old, ugly buildings in the city at the moment.
Yes, the socialists will be very upset that there's private capital involvement in this. How do you see that?
Well, I suppose somebody's always going to be upset, aren't they? And you know, Brisbane's always wanted to shake its country town label. And maybe this is the way that we do it. We try and introduce some different ways of doing things that we haven't done before, and we put this concept out there and get some feedback and see what people say and what they want.
So you're adopting a free enterprise ethos to this. I can see this coming through in you. You're quite happy that the government is doing this, aren't you?
I think that the developers will be really happy. It doesn't matter what I think, but I think the development industry will really embrace it as an opportunity to kickstart things again in Brisbane. We've needed a catalyst, and this could actually be it.
Yes, this is very important. I think as well as knocking down 3 buildings in George Street and capitalising on this wonderful site on the river that's been sitting there neglected since 1974, I think it is a catalyst then to draw in other projects like new hotels, new casinos, and all the things we wrote about in the Courier-Mail this morning.